big news out of college football. Bill Belichick has signed a 5-year deal to become the head coach at the University of North Carolina. And after an legendary NFL career, he's taken his talents to UNC. First time coaching college. He said this was always a dream to coach in college. His dad used to coach there years ago. He also had a number of, Lawrence Taylor played there. I think Belichick talks about Lawrence Taylor more than anybody else that he's ever coached. Julius Peppers also played there. So there's been a couple decent players, and especially Lawrence Taylor, who, like I said, Belichick loves. He played there. So going to UNC seemed almost destined, especially after, the rumors kept picking up and the leaks kept picking up and everything like that. So it seemed almost destined for Belichick to go coach college football, which he will do now at UNC. So my question to you is, we sort of had a similar question before, but do you expect Belichick to be successful as the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels?
I do. I think he will be successful. He's got a 5-year deal. It's approved by the Board of Trustees in an emergency meeting on Thursday. He's 72 years old. Worked in the NFL for 49 years until being fired by the New England Patriots in 2023. His father was an assistant coach at University of North Carolina from 1953 to 1955. Belichick said, I grew up around college football with my dad and treasured those times. I've always wanted to coach in college, and now I look forward to building a football program in Chapel Hill. UNC hasn't won a college title since 1980. Recruitment was spearheaded by the chairman of the board, John Pryor, and he pulled that off. They accepted Belichick's 400-page plan that laid out everything, all the salaries, all the assistant coaches, the structure that he wanted, everything. For a program considered to be a wash and an apathy and mediocrity, Belichick gives the Tar Heels, I think, an unprecedented jolt of star power. And the athletic director, Bubba Cunningham, said hiring Belichick positions the program well amid the changing landscape of college sports. And Cunningham also said Bill Belichick is a football legend, and hiring him to lead our program represents a new approach that will ensure Carolina football can evolve, compete, and win today and in the future. Win today. Mike Lombardi, a former Belichick assistant from 2014 to 16, will serve as the GM. Carolina fired Mac Brown, who was 73 years old, just after Thanksgiving. He had a 6-6 record last year. Had a 44-33 record over the 6 years that he coached the team. Belichick's been in the media this year, but always said he wanted to return to coaching and was expected to explore the NFL again this year. He hasn't gotten any calls. I think he would if he waited around long enough. There's enough teams looking for a coach here, or I think he would have gotten some interviews. Steve Belichick, his son, is expected to leave Washington Huskies and join the UNC team. Belichick's built up a reserve of coaching confidants at the college level. Nick Saban, a number of others. He's attended games this year at Washington, Rutgers, and LSU. He wants to create an incubator to the NFL. He mentioned that. We talked about that in our last show. He said, if I was in a college program, the college program would be a pipeline to the NFL for the players who have the ability to play in the NFL. It would be a professional program, training, nutrition, scheme, coaching, and techniques that would transfer to the NFL. Excuse me. If the deal had fallen through, it looked like Tommy Rees would have been the leading candidate. He's a Cleveland passing game and tight ends coach. He was considered the favorite, and Nick Saban was an advocate for him. Steve Wilkes was also in the discussion, and Arthur Smith, who declined, saying he's going to stay with the Steelers. So that's kind of the background and some of the thinking. My own thought is I think Bill Belichick making a great decision here. It's unconventional. That's Bill Belichick. Expect the unexpected from him, and he's trying something new here. I think it's cool. I think he's going to bring a lot of the coaches that he had with him in the Patriots days when they were successful to UNC, and I got to believe they think we're going to win a national championship.
I think with a 12-team college football playoff, they have an opportunity to at least make it that far. But to win a championship, that's something else. For probably the past 2 years, I've been very critical of Bill Belichick's decisions because everybody saw the direction the NFL was going, and Belichick was stuck in his own ways. And that was at the detriment of the New England Patriots, and led to the decision of Robert Kraft firing a coach that he hired for 24 years. So I think that said a lot about Bill Belichick, and especially that following year, this past offseason, when he interviewed with the Falcons. We have to realize the Chargers, Commanders, Raiders, Panthers, Seahawks, and Titans also had a head coaching vacancy and never interviewed Belichick. And the Falcons, maybe because of Robert Kraft putting in a word for Belichick to Arthur Blank, maybe don't trust him. He was never hired from the Atlanta Falcons, and instead they went with Raheem Morris. And now...
Regret that now?
No, I don't think they regret it whatsoever.
I don't know.
Because Belichick has taken over another team. This is the Aaron Rodgers decision. Rodgers, as a player, has taken over every organization that he's been with, the Green Bay Packers and now the New York Jets, and look how the Jets are. We hear reports about how they have to walk on eggshells and make sure Rodgers is always happy all the time. That sounds like a toxic relationship. And Belichick going to college to make it a streamlined, program straight to the NFL, that's going to be interesting, and I can't wait to see it. But when it comes to evaluating talent, Belichick is terrible at it, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We have to remember in 2021, Mac Jones seemed like a Robert Kraft pick. And Belichick, there was rumors that he wanted Davis Mills. Davis Mills is a backup quarterback. And I understand Mac Jones is now, is a starter now, but he was a backup quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the fact that, you're bringing in Matt Patricia and Josh McDaniels and a bunch of ex-Patriots, I don't love that. I don't love that because we already saw what that looked like. And Belichick, out of the kindness of his heart, mispositioned and mishired those coaches like Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, who were a defensive coordinator and a special teams coach, respectively, and put them in offensive roles. And shocker, the offense was terrible and the game plans were garbage. Belichick found according to Seth Wickersham, who did a phenomenal job reporting, Belichick was disgusted with what the NFL has become. He reported that yesterday on Thursday. And he was reportedly frustrated with NFL team owners who did not seem to want to buy into his approach. Another confidant of Belichick told ESPN that he was, quote, tired of the stupidness in the league. This is Bill Belichick, who people regard as the greatest coach of all time. And he's calling out other teams because they don't want to buy into his approach. We've seen for several years what the Bill Belichick approach is. It is now a failing product. Because since Tom Brady left, they went 12-4, which, by the way, they couldn't stop Derrick Henry in the wild card game. In 2020, you went 7-9 with Cam Newton. Then you had a great year in 2021 with Mac Jones. And instead of building on that success, you decided to stick with your own ideas, not hire proper people into proper roles in 2022, and the offense plummeted. And then in 2023, you doubled down on that decision, and the offense got worse to the product we see today, which is, for the third straight year, the worst supporting cast in the NFL, and a broken down offensive line, and a quarterback situation, which is promising, but because he has no one to throw it to, the offense suffers because of that. Is Belichick a good defensive coach? Absolutely. Does he know how to build a proper roster? Defensively, you could argue yes. Offensively, he's inept. The offensive line, remember Cole Strange, how we thought that was an interesting pick because people had him as a day 3 pick, and Belichick picked him in the first round? Yeah, he's not that great, and he's banged up, and overall, he just hasn't performed very well. He held on to David Andrews, who's currently hurt, but also was declining rapidly as of the past couple seasons. Michael Wenu, chances are Bill Belichick wouldn't have re-signed him. Kendrick Bourne wouldn't have re-signed him. He would have gone to draft. Belichick wouldn't even have drafted. He would try to go sign people at budget value. So if he sticks to coaching only, which it looks like that will be the case with Mike Lombardi being the GM, if he just sticks to coaching, I think UNC's defense will be very respectable. But as soon as he dabbles in the offense, as soon as he dabbles into NIL and recruiting players from the offensive side, that's where it will begin to suffer. Because like I said, he wanted Davis Mills in the 2021 draft. He drafted Cole Strange when he was a day 3 pick. And when they needed offensive linemen and skill position players, he drafted a kicker and a punter. The kicker ended up being, in his rookie year, the worst kicker in the league. Belichick, stick to defense, he'll succeed. Dabbles in the offense, UNC will start to plummet, and then you'll be looking at that 400-page organizational Bible and say, why the hell did we sign him if we were looking to be successful?
Well, you're pretty negative, and maybe you've got some good facts to back you up. But I think that Bill Belichick, one of the most innovative, creative head coaches in league history in the NFL,
innovative,
and going to the college ranks now is going to be exciting, and I do think he's going to be quite successful. I think that coming out and saying, I'm creating a pipeline for those players that are capable to get to the NFL is going to be a recruitment magnet. I think that's the smartest thing I've heard any college coach say. I've never heard a college coach say anything like that before. That's brilliant. That's a brilliant statement and a great recruitment tool. He's going to have. I'd say he'll have the best defense in the college ranks next year by a long shot, I think, because now college is different. These players can move all over the place.
You think Belichick's going to be spending Uber money on 17, 18-year-olds?
What potential defensive player who has potential to make it to the NFL wouldn't want to play for Bill Belichick? Huh? They're going to want to come. And I think he'll have great success.
Player, I agree with you.
And he's going to bring Josh McDaniel in to be his offensive coordinator. He won't have much to do with the offense. Josh McDaniel will run it, and we've seen what he can do. So when he's an OC, I like their chances. UNC making it into a new format for the college playoffs now with 12 teams. I'd say UNC, they are on their way.
I think Bill Belichick just doesn't realize, yes, he is technically an 8-time Super Bowl winning coach, 6 as a head coach with the Patriots, 2 as a DC for the New York Giants. Supposedly, according to Wickersham, this was a big FU to the NFL to leave. No, you weren't going to get a job. This is just.
I don't think that's so sure, Nate. I think look at this, some pretty bad teams. There's 16 teams in the NFL right now with under 500.
Correct, but we have to realize there's only
6 teams with 3-10 records, right, and 2 with a 2-11 record.
Correct.
You don't think those 8 teams might consider Bill Belichick? One of those 8 teams might consider Bill Belichick? I do think that would.
Well, here's the big thing. First of all, we have to realize there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams, 7 teams that needed a coach last year. 1 interviewed him.
That was different last year.
What do you mean it's different last year? Right now, there's only 3.
It's 1 year removed from a bad season,
that he was the cause
and Robert Kraft dissing him so badly.
What do you mean he got fired from doing a bad job?
And also the dynasty thing that came out was very negative about him. It was a bad year for him publicity wise. It just didn't gel. But those things are behind him. He's been on the media this year. He's been smiling. He's been a different Bill Belichick.
Yeah, you should have
seen
the
very
press conference. He
approachable.
went back to the same Belichick.
And I think that you're seeing a little bit different guy. And I think that he's going to have fun in the college ranks. And I think he's destined to do well. I think that the team UNC will be a different team, be much, much better. Get into the college playoffs. Maybe not the first year, but maybe the first year. I would say he's expecting to do that, right? He's 72 years old. He's going to want that. And I think they'll find a way to get there.
I doubt it. So the 3 openings right now are the Jets, Saints, and Bears. Immediately eliminate the Jets. He hates the Jets. The Bears, according to reports, they're looking for an offensive coach. The Saints are in cap hell. They aren't going to have any sniff of relief until 2027. Belichick is not looking to be the head coach of the Saints. So as of right now,
the Giants,
they should not fire Brian Daboll. They're just a bad organization. That's in large part.
I read that Belichick wouldn't want them to fire Daboll. He thinks that they should hang on to him.
As I agree with them. I completely agree with them.
I don't know why. I mean, he's had a terrible year this year.
His quarterback was Daniel Jones.
But he's been the offensive play caller. He's called some terrible plays.
His team is built for losing. You're saying, okay, so...
Well, he's the head coach, Nate.
So hold on,
you build a team that's built for losing?
So hold on. Take out Brian Daboll, insert Belichick for this season. What's their record?
I think it would be much better than it is now because the defense would have been a lot better.
You're off, okay?
The defense has good players. Look what Jim Harbaugh did for the Chargers defense.
Okay, so
right?
so hold on.
They had a bunch of names there, good players.
Yes.
He got the production out of them this year. They're much better defense than they were last year. I think Belichick would do the same thing for the Giants.
Okay, so the Patriots had the 7th ranked defense last year. The offense was ranked 30th, and they went 4-13. This is an offensive league.
You're asking, would they be better than they at 2-11? I do think they would. I think they'd be more around 500.
The offense is so bad. The offense is terrible.
Well, they wouldn't have the same OC that they have now. They would have a different offensive coordinator.
They've put up 20 points in, 4 games? 4 games.
Yeah.
20 points in 4 games.
They're terrible, but that doesn't mean they'd be terrible under Bill Belichick.
The Patriots had a top 10 defense. They were number 7. But their offense was so bad. Their record 4-13.
Yeah, well, they had no kicker either.
That's because of Belichick.
They could, but the Giants have Graham Gano. Oh, he's a good kicker.
He was banged up, by the way.
Yeah, but he's back now. Yeah.
He's not. Here's the thing. People are going to be watching UNC. And I think people like us in the sports media landscape,
I'm going to be watching every game.
They are going to be hyper-focused on how Belichick coaches. And if the offense falls, that is a ding on Belichick's reputation because his ability to survey offense is terrible. Just look at the Patriots from 2019 onward. And you could even argue a lot of Belichick's coaching career with New England, the offense could be average. But because you have the greatest quarterback of all time, you could have a Julian Edelman who got picked in the 7th round. You could have a Chris Hogan undrafted. You could have these players who are middle of the pack.
And who drafted Tom Brady, by the way?
25 years ago.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, it does. It doesn't matter. They won 6 Super Bowls, Nate. They won 6 Super Bowls. Nobody else has ever done that.
Well, yes. The Pittsburgh Steelers? They've won 6. It's the Steelers or the 49ers. They've won 6. The Patriots are tied with one other franchise, and I think it's the Steelers. I'm like 95% positive.
No head coach has ever won 6 Super Bowls.
That's true. But we do have to realize when you talk about Super Bowls, you start with Tom Brady, and then you go to franchises. Just want to throw that out there. Start with Brady. And also, we also have to point this out. Andy Reid is right on Belichick's tail. And he's going to be coaching for probably 3-4 seasons.
Yeah, well, Belichick is, to his credit, he's not chasing that win total anymore. He's doing something that he always wanted to do. And he's doing something for his son, too. I think he's trying to help out his son. And I think this is very commendable. I admire him for it.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching this clip of the Harvey Hour. If you want to watch the full show, you can by clicking the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to take the show with you on the go, it is available wherever you get your podcast. We go live here on YouTube every single Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload a video and whenever we go live.